Hello, good morning. What a night we had last night in Cornwall. We had the most horrendous storm, and I was expecting to wake up this morning with the roof gone and trees down in the garden. The house stood up really well, and the sun is now shining outside, but the wind is still whistling, but nothing like it was last night. I wanted to make a video today because it's really nice to share, and I discovered the needlework community on the internet through blogging, and then that developed into Facebook. And before I started to reproduce samplers for Hands Across the Sea samplers, I always shared my work regularly, and that's just the one small downside about reproducing samplers that you want to hold on to for a grand launch when they are released, that you aren't able to share your work freely. I do find that very hard, but at the moment my current project is a workshop project, and obviously people get to see workshop projects before the workshop, so I have been able to show you sneak peeks of this sampler as I've been stitching. So I thought it would be really nice today to show you my progress on the sampler. It's been a little bit slow, mainly because the amount of travelling that I've been doing, and I've got to admit, on my last holiday I slept an awful lot, so I didn't actually get the amount of stitching in that I should have done, and this sampler really it should be finished by now. So this is my sampler to date. Oops, upside down, that's typical, isn't it? Here is my sampler to date, and this is Jane, and she is a Scottish sampler. I am using the colours on the back of the sampler. They are just so vibrant and so different. I posted a photograph the other day of an element taken from this sampler where the sampler was blue on the front, and beautiful shades of blue, and on the back a mixture of a very strong purple and blues. Normally I like to choose the colour on the front of the sampler, but because the colours on the front of the sampler today were so far from the colours that Jane chose, I felt that to reproduce the sampler to follow in Jane's footsteps, that I had to use the colours found on the back of the sampler. Otherwise I simply was not reproducing what Jane stitched. Now this sampler is the second day project for my workshop at Sassy Jack's next year, and the first day is a technical day where we are looking at a reversible band sampler, and this is a sampler that still has elements that need to be taught, but it's a more sort of laid back fun sampler. It's predominantly stitched in cross stitch, but we also have a very nice little bit of satin stitch, and we have some herringbone stitches, we have stem stitch, and I haven't stitched it as yet because I want this to be the last area that I stitch, but the area below the house is stitched with what I think is turkey knots, so that's going to be fun. Laying the stitches and then giving the stitches a little haircut, and we'll have great fun in the workshop doing that and practicing that. The sampler isn't finished yet. I have some more initials to add along here and a freehand element to stitch on this section. Then there is a bird over one, and then there is a over one dog on this sampler in this bottom corner. The sampler has a cat in this corner, or this side, and the dog will be down here, another bird. So it's a really fun sampler. It's very pretty, and I must admit I've really enjoyed stitching the sampler, and I'm hoping that maybe this week or towards the end of next week, certainly before I leave to go to the States, that this one will be finished. And then I will be focusing on a workshop project for the Attic Needleworks for next year, and I'm looking forward to stitching that one as well. It's a band sampler. It's really nice to add variety to stitching, and I always feel when I get to the end of maybe like a reversible band sampler, how nice it will be to stitch a traditional schoolgirl sampler in cross stitch. And then when I finish a cross stitch sampler, I think, oh, I can't wait to tackle a more technical project. Variety is the spice of life, and needlework should always be a journey of enjoyment, adventure, learning. Good to broaden your knowledge, and for me, reproducing samplers has to be the same as well. So thank you for listening to me and allowing me to share my work with you, and until the next time, bye-zy bye.